Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And today, you join me as we reach a momentous occasion. A chance to celebrate this podcast. Because, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean ladies and gentlemen, given that there is a few of my female relatives, my female friend, and my father. We've reached 30 episodes. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to you for having the patience to continue to listen to me talk in 10-minute stretches. Today, we're going to continue the tradition of journalistic excellence that we have on 10 Minutes with Nick, where I talk for 10 minutes straight, I research nothing, and I just spout off. And today, we're going to talk about streaming. Not field and streaming, mind you. We're not going to go into the outdoors. I really can't because I've got to record the podcast indoors. And while I could try to record it outdoors, it'd require more editing, a little bit more camera work. And frankly, for a 10-minute podcast that has no budget, we don't really have the time or the energy to do that. However, we're talking about digital streaming. Digital streaming. The medium across which most consumers take in their entertainment in today's day and age. Why is streaming so big? Well, for starters, people are lazy. And I don't mean that pejoratively. I just mean that simply that everybody consumes the thing that is the lowest hanging fruit they can find. And the beauty of streaming is that it is incredibly cost-effective to the consumer, and it offers you a wider library of content than you've ever been able to access before. Another reason why streaming is so big nowadays, though, is that we recently came out of a prolonged period where we weren't really doing anything else except watching TV and reading books and, if we had to, interacting with our families. I feel like if I say it, the internet is going to mob me. It feels like the internet overlords are always watching for mention of the words that are forbidden. COVID, pandemic, vaccine, coronavirus, those sorts of words. So I've just defeated the purpose of not saying them by saying them all in a row, but I digress. During that period of time, streaming became as popular as it did because while there was nothing else to do, we all needed to find some modicum of joy, some morsel of happiness in what was sort of a dark and rather scary period. And we turned to streaming. But that was sort of a sea shift in entertainment that nobody ever quite addressed. And now the bill has come due. SAG, the Actors Union, the WGA, the Writers Union, and I guess UPS are all soon to be on strike. Now, in fairness, I don't know how UPS really ties into the actors and the writers other than, labor solidarity. Somebody else can talk about that. My point is simply, there was a huge sea shift in the consumption of entertainment, and nobody addressed it until really this summer. And really, this is why the strikes are going on, right? The market is currently trying to address on the labor side how the new era or the new economics of the entertainment industry looks like. Because, I'll throw this out there, during the network era, when network was king, right? Which was not that long ago. It was maybe 5 years ago even. Network TV has a very well-recognized system for tracking where TV shows are being watched. It's called the Nielsen ratings. And the Nielsen ratings both give you data on, how many households are watching, but they also break down where those households are. Those ratings were specifically negotiated into actors and writers' contracts, meaning that when your show aired in like a New York City, a primetime market, you got more money for that show airing there because ads sold for more there. streaming completely upended that, because for $10 a month, where cable before cost you like, I'm going to say 70, and it probably was more expensive than that. But cable cost you $70 a month. For $10 a month, you weren't necessarily watching TV in a particular location. You were downloading from a server onto your TV. There really wasn't a way to track that, which was okay when the agreement for streaming was basically they were just buying shows that networks had already run and airing them, right? So there was a buyout agreement that happened, and that buyout agreement included a license. It was re-upped so many years. And there was a model from that. Then streaming got into the game of producing their own original content, and there was a little trick in there. That trick was that streaming originals fell under a contract that was not a network-style contract. What nobody expected was that these original streaming shows were going to be good, or have massive budgets, or win Emmy Awards, or even be nominated for Emmys, Golden Globes. I don't know that one's been nominated for an Academy Award yet. We can assume it's not far off. The quality and the amount of content shifted from a well-known, quantifiable, trackable market to streaming, where views are not tracked. The number of streams are. But each stream is not, the streams don't have different value. So we're in a weird place. And this sort of ramble of 10 minutes has sort of touched on economics. It's touched on the brief sea change in how content is consumed, and it's touched on the troubles for that in the entertainment industry. So what's my point on that? What I think the most likely outcome is that these strikes are going to end at some point. And they're going to end with a new contract for writers and a new contract for actors, likely that matches in some way the contract for networks. So like your CBS, your NBC, your Fox, Netflix, and Disney Plus, and Hulu, and HBO, and all them, they're going to have to sign contracts that look exactly like that. What that means is likely that the people who are going to feel the crunch in this, it's going to be the consumer. Because in order to set up that model of payment, streaming is just going to become like cable. I guarantee you it's coming. And honestly, we'll probably still pay it. Because so long as they don't take away the on-demand aspect of streaming, right? The ability to call up a show at any point, whenever you so wish, people will complain and bitch and moan, but it's unlikely that they will stop consuming. Even if they start doing ads again, right? The only way I see people having a real problem is if the on-demand aspect of the streaming services was taken away. If the on-demand aspect goes away, that would turn into a problem, but it's likely that the cost of streaming is just going to rise, and I don't know how fast it's going to rise, but it is going to rise. That rise will be used to pay for the actors and the writers, and before consumers come at me and complain and say like, well, that's bad, or why would they pass that cost on to us? Because guys, the bill is coming due. Like, we got very, very low-cost entertainment for quite a long time, and low-cost, high-quality entertainment for a very long time. Like, the types of shows we're seeing now could only have been on a premium channel back in the cable days. And back in the cable days, you couldn't just choose when you wanted to watch it. You had to wait until it happened to be on the schedule. All these shows are up for up for Emmy Award nominations, up for all these shows, all this like high quality stuff. That's a lot of value. And the actors and the writers who create it are generating a lot of value, and they're generating a lot of money for the studios. Trust me when I say it's time to pay the bill. disagree with me. And if you disagree with me, leave a hate comment. If you agree with me, drop me a follow. Or don't. This is only 10 minutes long, and I'm just Nick. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Drop me a follow. And even if you don't, have a nice day.